Hi, I'm John. This video is for someone who feels like they're lost. It's for someone who's in a place of fear and who wants to change that. I want to provide you with a framework that will help you dig yourself out of any hole you feel that you're in. Nobody's going to save you, and I'm not going to save you either. You have to take responsibility and dig yourself out of any hole you're in. And by complaining, you're only going to dig yourself in deeper. Now, this only takes place when you're trying to control your life. Okay. If you're watching this, you've already taken the first step and you're trying to find a way out of this maze in which we've deliberately been put in. But maybe you're just trying to do something to make the quality of your life better. The problem is we live in a world of complainers. We live in a world of victims and whiners. And the more those types of people intrude into your reality, the more you adopt that as your own behavior. And the more you adopt a debtor behavior, the more you narrow your mind. That sort of pattern stops you from pursuing that next phase in life that'll make your life better, that'll make it more meaningful. If you're not solving, if you're not moving, you're stagnant. And if you're stagnant, you're not putting the effort into the system that gets you what you want, that solves your problems. And that decline will take you into entropy. It'll take you into chaos. And I'm willing to bet that chaos rules a good portion of your days. Most people ask for advice as a sort of procrastination method. They do it to hide from problems that they should be solving themselves. As someone who helps dozens or more people every week, I can tell you that most people don't want to take steps towards solutions. They want to feel as if they know what the solution is. Most people want the dopamine hit that they get from telling people that they're doing things or that they're trying to accomplish something instead of getting the dopamine reward from actually getting stuff done. You can't solve your problems because you haven't expanded your thinking beyond the perceived problem. You think that your problem is credit card debt, but it isn't. It isn't that the problem is you don't know what debt is. You don't know what a security interest is, and you don't know how to revoke that security interest from these fraudulent third parties who are acting illegally. And you don't know how to reveal their fraud, to call them out on it and get your way. You think that your problem is that you have to pay taxes when you have no idea what it is you're doing that causes the liability for those taxes in the first place. If you're focused on a problem, you aren't focused on a solution. So you end up digging yourself further into the problem because the problem is what you're focused on. So what's your problem? Do you think it's taxes? You think it's bills, not enough money, a criminal charge, a lawsuit, a debt collector, traffic court? Right now, you need to focus on a goal, but you don't know what that goal is. Our goal here isn't to give you solutions. Our goal isn't even to give you a goal. Our mission is to give you an understanding of the system that you're in and the foundations that this commercial world operates on, so that instead of seeing problems, you start seeing a myriad of solutions and opportunities. And those solutions aren't apparent to you right now because you don't understand the system. So you can get to your goals faster and more efficiently if you understand the system that you're currently operating in. We live in a commercial world, but commerce is more than just goods and services. Commerce is the exchange of energy, and right now, you've allowed yourself to be the collateral. Have you ever dreaded walking to the mailbox? Have you ever felt your heart drop out at the sight of an IRS notice? Have you ever opened a demand letter from a private company that threatened your driver's license over a toll that you just barely remember? This system isn't broken. It's built the way that it's built intentionally. I've walked through that fire. Family court, fraudulent debts, arrests, government overreach, and I know what it's like to feel invisible in a system that was never built for you to win. This deck has been stacked against you from the time that you were birthed. I used to think that I had no power until I discovered the truth. Law is contract and contract is law. It's all commerce, and once you understand the rules of commerce, you stop begging for justice and you start creating remedy. Now, this isn't legal advice. This is lawful empowerment. And it's time you remembered who you are. You've been told that your only option is to hire an attorney, a lawyer, to hope for mercy, to beg, to plead, right? to play nice with a system that's bleeding you dry at every turn. They don't care if they get $1 million. They're fine with getting $1 because when they get that dollar, they can lock you in for the next dollar. But what if I told you that every traffic ticket, every IRS notice, every custody dispute, it all starts as an offer. And if it's an offer, you have the right to counter it. We live in a world of commercial contracts, silent agreements that are based on your failure to respond or your willingness to comply out of fear. They assume you are a debtor, a resident, a citizen, a thing that is to be taxed, ruled, managed, just like you would manage a herd of sheep. But what if you stopped accepting their terms unconditionally? It doesn't take magic, it takes knowledge, and that's what we give you. We teach people the tools to operate in the private, not in the public. We teach people how to use the public to get their way. You'll learn how to conditionally accept an unlawful demand, how to challenge jurisdiction, how to remove security interest, how to make valid claims that hold the weight of law in law. So that is called the private administrative process, and it's the foundation for how you settle disputes without begging for permission. You go from offer to conditional acceptance to default to judgment. You go from fear to process to remedy. You'll understand the name game, how your identity is used against you in commerce, and how you reclaim it. You can stop feeling like a victim and start documenting, start issuing documents, and start acting as the creditor in these transactions instead of the debtor. It doesn't matter if it's in criminal court, civil court, debt collections, family court, foreclosures, false accusations. We show you how to respond with lawful instruments that shift the burden and make the record speak for you. You don't need to be an attorney to do this. You need to know who you are and how to speak their language. And once you learn it, you'll never go back. So here's where you have to make a decision. Are you going to move towards a goal? Even if right now all you've got is some blurry outline of what that goal looks like. Or are you going to stay stuck in the same mental loops you were programmed to follow in public school, where your compliance was praised and your curiosity was punished? You were trained to wait for permission. So was I. Sit still, follow instructions, stand in this line, go stand in this line, move over here, sit down. But that system never taught you how to think critically, how to challenge authority, or how to protect your interest. That's why you feel like you're fumbling in the dark right now, because you were never shown how to hold the flashlight. It's time for you to break out. It's time to expand your mind by watching what no one else around you is teaching, by reading what they don't even know exists, by joining a community of people who aren't sitting around waiting for change. They are the change. They're already talking. They're already meeting. They're already taking action and getting results. You can go meet up with your friends, the ones who complain about debts and taxes and marriage and family and kids and work and all that stuff. Or you can move into a community of people who are actively working to change their lives, the folks who are eager to use their mistakes and their successes to help you. And the longer you sit still, the harder it's going to be for you to catch up. So I'm asking you, are you going to move or are you going to keep making excuses? Because once you get a grasp of this system, once you understand the rules of the Monopoly game that you've been playing, your focus is going to shift. It's going to go from your perceived problem to the myriad of solutions that can be implemented that not only equalize your standing in commercial matters, but flip the script entirely and put you in control. So for decades, you've been in an echo chamber where you're told that you are the name. You are the legal name. You are that two-dimensional entity on that driver's license. You're the responsible party. The liability is all on you. You're the one who pays. You're the one who's obligated. You're the one who performs like, not like you're a competent man or woman, but like you're some kind of circus monkey. It's time to unfollow the people that you've been following. And then, from a clear mind and a clear point of view, you need to find your community. You need to find the people who are no longer being victims, who are no longer being debtors. These are the people who switch to the position of creditor. It's time to stop following circus monkeys because it's making you one. And this isn't just about new ideals and new ways of doing things, you know. This is about changing yourself into the image of the man or woman you want to be. This is saying, I need to zoom out and see what it is I want a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years from now. We provide a filter for what you should and should not do. This is about changing your mindset to one where you not only understand the system, but one where you think for yourself. Always think for yourself. Don't follow anyone steadfastly except Jesus. Don't even follow me. This commerce game is one that is finite, not finite. See, everybody makes mistakes. It's an infinite game. An infinite game is one where you don't stop playing. There's no end. In a finite game, there's winners and losers, but then the game's over. This is an infinite game. You keep playing until you draw your last breath. You can continue changing the rules, the goal, and even yourself so that the game goes further and your goals advance further. If you intend to make $1 million and that's the end of the game, what are you going to do after that? Does your thinking stop right there? Or does the game continue? Some people view infinite games as finite games, and it destroys the life that they could have had. Relationships are a big one here. When you find someone you fall in love with, is the game simply to get married? If so, that's a finite game, and that's a trap. So you get married. After you're married, you stop playing. What does your spouse do? What do? Get miserable? You both feel neglected? What does that game end in? Divorce? Well, you think, well, now I'm divorced, so the game's over. Now I have to start a new game. But you have a child, you have child support, you're older, you're out trying to start the new game when you never should have viewed the game as finite in the first place. As long as you're in this realm, as long as you can draw a breath, what you'll learn over the next few weeks with us will be pivotal to your success. It's the foundation. Business and employment are the same way. When you're employed, not everyone in that company or in that hierarchy can be the CEO. But if you're thinking for yourself, if you know the rules of the game, if you know the system that you're operating in, and that system that you're in is larger than just the one the public school and the media taught you, the possibilities are endless. So you've been waiting for someone to give you permission. I'm here to tell you, you already have the authority that you need. We don't give you the authority. It's just time to learn how to use the authority you already have. This isn't about playing games with paperwork. It's about standing in truth and holding your position and refusing to be moved by fear or fiction or their pretend, because there's a lot of pretend fiction out there. If you're ready to understand how this system really works and how to turn the tables, talk to Theo and watch the next video. Ask your questions and challenge the process. Take your first step, okay? But at the end of the day, it's up to you to change your mind, okay? It's up to you to view your situation from a different perspective than the one you've always had, and to act regardless of how you feel. So ask your questions, challenge the process, take that first step. If you've got legs, you can stand up. And no matter what thoughts you have in your head, even if you're the most depressed man or woman in the world, you can take one step forward. I've been there. I've fought through that darkness, and that's how you break out of the conditioned, closed mind that they've trapped you in by your consent. It's time for you to stop giving consent. You need forward movement. You need to invest your energy into a goal, any goal. But most importantly, you need to invest it in yourself. Even if you don't invest in what we have to offer, I would urge you to learn how to move forward, okay? Be who you want to be. Write it down. Put it on paper. Define the version of yourself that you've been circling around, but you've never allowed yourself to step into. You'll be amazed how different your life looks when you know what direction you're walking in. But if you want a path, if you want to walk with like-minded men and women who are learning, failing, falling down, getting back up, rising, and bringing others with them, well, we're here. So it's time to take back control. It's time to reclaim your voice. If you want to know more about what we have to offer, there's a second video. If you want high impact skills that carry you through any commercial problem in this realm, we're here. If this isn't for you, that's okay too. We just hope you find the knowledge that takes you where you need to be. Have a good day.